No pressure. Don't mess up. Don't mess up. Don't mess up. Welcome everybody to a very scary. No, it's not. A very fun podcast. I am Kim McVicker, and today my guest is. You have to say your name.
Oh, great. I thought you were looking for like a note or something. I'm
No, no,
Taylor
no.
Hughes.
I know your name. I just refuse to introduce anybody. It's a
I
weird.
like that.
Is that messed up?
I think we should do that in society, like in everyday life.
Yeah,
That'd be
because
great.
I found that when I introduce people, like if I was to introduce you, I'd be like Taylor Hughes, a magician, and then you would tell me, actually, I do this,
Oh
and
yeah.
then I'm like, okay. So
Yeah.
I don't know what people identify themselves as,
Oh yeah.
so I just let them decide.
Oh, I like that. So is this where I introduce myself?
Sure, say whatever you want. None of it matters. This is just fun. Yeah,
What if I just went off? What if I had some crazy like
I would
conspiracy? I'm like,
love it.
I'm just here to talk about how the earth is flat.
Let's go.
Um
It
I
is.
I'm a
My computer
magician.
is round though.
It's
Yeah, you're a magician. You're right. You are. I'm okay with
I
saying
am.
that. It's not.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah, yeah. My day job is magic. So I do magic shows. Like half of my work is theaters and comedy clubs, and the other half is corporate entertainment and keynote. So yeah, I
And
just
you said
love
and
magic.
keynote?
Keynote, yeah,
Like keynotes? Like keynotes?
no, like a TED talk for a company when
Yeah,
they're
okay.
like, yeah, they're doing a training and they want it to be fun. I'll
J-
use magic to talk about sales or
Oh,
whatever the
okay. So if I had a company that was like, I sold the furniture, just
Okay.
just couches or Chesterfields, depending on where you're from. That's all. So it's one product, right? Let's go with
Is
this.
it
It seems.
couch at Chesterfield? Is that a Canadian thing?
I don't know. Those are the two words I know to call them. Probably Canadian if you don't
Okay.
know one of
I don't
them.
know Chesterfield. I've
Okay,
never
and I'm
I
probably
would assume that was like a rifle of some sort.
That's very
Yeah.
American of you. Only in Canada do we name our relaxing things like weapons.
Right, right, yeah.
So you would go up and I would hire you and be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, here's my company," and I would have to send you like what you have to because you don't know anything about chairs
Yeah, no,
other
but
than
I'm
sitting. You know what I mean?
right.
Like,
Right. Yeah, basically, I use magic as a metaphor. So, magic's one of the things in life that we can't generally figure out unless you Google it, you know? But like it's
yes.
one of the it's a weird thing to do magic nowadays because we know everything or we can ask our phone in 10 seconds we have an answer. So, at least for a time period when you see a magic trick, you have this feeling of if it's good, you go, I don't know I didn't know that was possible or I didn't know what was happening.
Hmm.
And so it like opens people up to talk about what else they might not have figured out. So sometimes a company will bring me in to do a magic presentation just to get people to be like, hey, you don't have it all figured out. And then we can talk about how to be nicer to each other in the office or,
Oh my
you
gosh, I
know,
need that in my daily life. Like we're doing a magic trick right now. We're in the same room, everybody.
we are. We
That's
are. We've
that's how
decorated it
good you are.
strategically.
Yeah, that's how good you are. Your room is so cool. Where are you right now?
I am in a shed in my backyard.
But it's decorated so cool.
Thank you. This is the last remaining thing I have from COVID. This was when the only way I got to see people was on camera.
Okay.
And so I have a tough shed in my backyard. I call it the World Shed Quarters. And I made it a little studio. So did you do the Zoom show thing? I did 120 shows from this shed.
Magic?
Magic, yeah.
Couldn't people screen record and then slow mo it and then watch back what you did? Because 100% I would have done that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not worried about people. I'm
Figure it
not
out.
super worried about people figuring out stuff. I just want to
You just want to do magic and have fun.
yeah, just in the moment, just be a little more
Just have a little
just
good
just
time. You know, I don't like it when people spoil magic for me. When I see
no.
someone do like a card game and I'm genuinely
Yeah.
like, oh, how did he do that? My husband will be like, he did. And I'm like, shh, shh. Hi, I'm having a good time. Not trying to
Yeah.
figure it out. Just being
What's
like, wow.
what's really weird is when you do because I do corporate stuff, like you'll do a show for all engineers or all data
Oh,
scientists.
yeah, they want
And
to
they just sit
know.
there like this. Like that's the one thing, like with comedy, people laugh, but they're not generally trying to analyze how you got there.
No, unless they're annoying. They
Yeah.
exist. Those people do exist.
Oh, yeah. But magic, like, attracts those kind of audiences sometimes.
For
And
sure.
then afterward, they're like, "Oh, that was great. That was so fun." And I'm like, "I had a miserable time for an hour."
Okay, so that totally exists in stand-up comedy.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
where I think there's a generation of people who don't know how to go to shows yet. And they're
Yeah.
getting into going to shows because of social media and things like that.
Right.
But they look at you and it's like they want to swipe to the next joke, but they don't. Like they can't, and they're just like, "Oh, so we just have to, okay."
Right.
And then they
Right. Well,
just
and because
smile and they don't like get into it. And then afterwards they'll be like, "You were amazing." And I'll be like, "Well, you could have fooled me."
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's wild. They think they're still sitting on their couch. It's like, I can see you."
yeah, yeah. I can see you back.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, also, like, with crowd, because so many of the stuff we're posting is, like, crowd work because people don't wanna burn material, but
Mm-hmm.
then you get 2 audiences. It seems like you get the people who are, like you were saying, disassociated while they're watching you. They're
Mm-hmm.
kinda just observing you, but not reacting, and then sometimes you get people who are like, "I'm gonna be on TikTok. Like, I'm gonna make this show."
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
a there's people who want crowd work, and now I do think that it's swinging again because
Yeah.
I just did a show, and it was clear that everyone did crowd work, and I was headlining. So by the time I got up there, they were so over it
They're like,
that
"Yeah, we need
I
a
went
break.
out.
We've been working."
They were mad. They were mad. They look like they were legit the comic before me. Like,
Yeah.
and granted, every comic talked to the same 5 people, so
Ah,
it was really funny to me. So when I got up, I was like, I'm not talking to any of you. I already know you do this, you do that, you do this. You're from there,
right.
you're doing this. This is weird. I didn't have
That's
to do anything. Like I was like, I don't need your feedback. We're just gonna go back. Yeah.
Right. Though, well, that's another thing too, I feel like, in the magic world that's a little different than stand-up is
Mm.
that because stand-ups will show up, like, the show will start, and if there's, like, I do comedy magic club all the time, there'll be 10 comics on, there'll be 3 people in the room when the show starts, like, performers,
Hmm.
because comedians will, like, roll in, they just need to pick up a mic,
Yeah. So
you
wait,
don't
you
need a
said at
bunch of
them
props.
there's stand-ups at. Are you talking Magic Castle? What are you talking about?
No, 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 Hermosa Beach,
Oh, okay. I know what you're
the
talking about.
comedy and magic club, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, it's the comedy magic club, but there will be, like, 1 magician and 9 comics.
That's
But it's
fun.
funny, like, because the comedians always, obviously, you don't have to, like, set up props or anything,
Right. Is
and
it harder to do magic in front of comics?
no,
Because you guys do jokes sometimes, or
yeah,
like,
yeah,
is it that part that they're like, or are
yeah.
they into it?
It's funny, I used to get really weirded out because I do a lot of comedy in my show, and I feel like, imposter syndrome when I be in a comedy club,
Mm.
and then I was just like, we're all just doing our
Well,
thing."
everyone's just here to entertain everybody, and like
Yeah.
when people ask me what kind of comedy I do, I'm always like, I don't.
Yeah, how do I describe.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything.
Right.
I'm just here to make you happy. Like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna learn anything. You're not gonna
Right.
leave a better person. You're not gonna leave a worse person. You're just
Right.
gonna like forget your life for 45 minutes. Like that's
Yeah.
about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
or 90 if it's a full show. Yeah,
Yeah, it's funny how, like, I don't know, did you ever deal with the imposter thing?
I still have that.
Okay, good. Yeah, good.
That'll never go away. That's an interesting. Yeah, fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
I
Well,
felt
and
that
it's
way as a dancer more than as a stand-up though.
that's right, because you had, like, a whole other
A whole other
entertainment
career.
experience,
What
yeah.
a weird life.
It's so weird too. I had a buddy tell me the other day, we were talking about, like, those moments when you're in a green room and there's, like, a notable, like, like, because you got,
Somebody
like, the
famous, you mean?
yeah,
Like
you got
a like
yeah,
a
yeah, like, you got all the, like, the workers who are like, "Okay, we all know each other," but, like, there's different classes and kinda different tiers, not classes as, like, it sound like Downton Abbey or something,
No,
but I
I
mean,
know what
like,
you mean, where
the
you're
people you
like
come up with and yeah.
and the people you look up to.
Yeah, 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 and then all of
Mhm.
a sudden, you'll be on a show and it'll be like, "Oh, crap, this guy's doing everything," you
Yeah.
know? And my buddy was like he's like, "Hanging out with a famous person is the same feeling as when a cop is behind you on the freeway, and you're like, everything's fine, just act cool."
It is. That's a pretty good that's great. That's pretty
My
good.
buddy's just like, "Yeah, well, this is normal. Nothing weird's going on."
Yeah, I wasn't speeding. It's
Yeah, yeah,
good.
yeah.
We're fine. That's cool. Do you like as magicians when you go back to back, is it like, oh, that guy stole the trick I mean, obviously not the exact same trick, but is it like, oh, I
There's
was gonna do that. So like in comedy, let's say a Diddy jokes. Everyone
Right.
is doing so many right now.
Everyone's
So
gonna do
then
it.
it's like Diddy Diddy, and then another one did he? You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, that's too many. Do
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah, well, magicians, this is another thing too. Like magicians tend to get there early because they got to set up stuff, but they also like if there's two magicians on a show, you have to have that weird conversation where you're like, "Are you doing anything with rope?" Or yeah, "Hey, I brought a Rubik's cube. You got a Rubik's cube?" Like even if
So it's an object thing, not a topic.
yeah,
Like
and it's
that's
not
cool.
you could be doing something totally different, but like if somebody just watched a magician and they did a thing with a Rubik's cube and then someone else brings out a Rubik's cube, they're like, "Oh, I saw this already."
So then,
It's
do you bring more things when there's more than one person? Like you don't know you're set until you've
I
spoken to
I
the other
always
person.
I always have a ton of stuff planned.
Okay.
And I mean, I ultimately like I just love storytelling and
Hmm.
comedy, and so I love an excuse of like, "Oh, they can't do the trick I was gonna do. I guess I'll do another joke," or like, you know,
I almost thought
I'm
you were gonna say a bad word. Not a bad word, just a different word. And I was like, okay, we're getting this
we're
flat
going
Earth
there?
stuff. We're going to this flat Earth. We got it. We found it. That's cool. That's cool. Act cool. It's not a police officer. It's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine, everything's fine.
Everything is chill. So you also post your clips. You post clips, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel when like they go viral? How do you feel about that? Does it change your career at all, or what does it do?
You know what's been helpful with it? First of all, like, I have just ripped off everything my comedian friends do
Smart.
and done it as a magician. That's the like most magicians, they don't like in comedy, you write an hour or you work on your material, and once you get it to the point where you're like, "Hey, this feels pretty good. I'm gonna record an album or I'm gonna make a special and put it out and I'm gonna make new stuff."
Mm-hmm.
And most magicians that I watched growing up, like they didn't do that. Like that's not really a thing in magic to like make specials unless you're like David Blaine,
Mm-hmm.
or Penn and Teller. Most magicians, they just do the same hour their whole career.
Is it
Um,
One of them, I forget what magician, but it was like a super famous magician. This is like late 90s, early 2000s.
okay.
I was on a plane. I was 16. This gets bad.
Oh no.
I saw
Okay.
him and I was so excited to see him. I asked my mom if I could go over to him and get his autograph in my high school agenda. And he put his phone number.
No. And you
Granted, he
don't
didn't
remember,
ask my age. Maybe he thought I was 18. You know what I mean? Like,
but you don't
it's
remember
possible.
which magician it was.
I could tell you, but I can't think of the name. Like if you were to be like,
It's okay.
what
We
did
should,
he like? What tricks did he do? He was like really pop. He had like a TV show in the 90s. And he
oh
would like
man.
I think levitate, which I feel like everyone does now, right?
Oh
Isn't that a
man.
thing?
We
I don't
we
know.
should talk about this afterward because
Yeah, I don't want to get anyone in trouble. That's fair. That's fair. And in fairness, I never called. Maybe the number was fake. Maybe that was just the line to
I
get
mean, come
tickets.
on,
Like who knows? But
that
it
is
was a high school
insane.
agenda that I gave the guy to sign.
That
So
is insane.
nothing happened. I was just
Oh,
excited that he signed my agenda, and my mom was
oh,
like, "Do not call that number."
yeah,
I went,
that's
okay.
amazing.
Okay. But magic's still cool, guys. It's still pretty cool.
Oh my gosh,
Also,
magicians.
yeah, he should have put
Magicians.
down my phone number in there if he was a.
Yeah, maybe
That's
that was the trick. Maybe it was your phone number
Do
and you
people
just
ever
didn't
do
look
that where they assume you can like just do anything because you're a magician? Like kind of like people who are psychics where they're like,
I gr-
why didn't you tell me I was going to walk in here?" like that kind of thing.
Yeah, you get people who would be like they don't want to they want to participate, but then they won't help you at all. It's
Mm,
like write your name down. Well, you should write my name. It's like what are you talking about? Like
yeah.
um I grew up very religious. I grew up in like a Christian church, and so in the church I grew up in, people to a terrifying degree would think that I was like doing witchcraft or something.
Isn't
And I
that
just remember
kind of what I
what?
don't, I don't know if this is true, but if the guy really made, wine out of
Oh,
blood or like
it's
all
like
of those
yeah,
things,
yeah, it's in the book. It's like the first
kind of
story.
magic. Like it's literally the OG magic. I'm not.
I, well, I always thought it was funny, like if
It's magic. It's not
yeah,
bad. It's
like if you were summoning Satan
Is a
to like
miracle not magic? Is that not what cuz or is a magic not miracle, I guess. Hmm.
I mean, there's yeah,
Let's call your church
we
and let
we
them
could
know.
go deep.
Mhm.
I we could go deep on that. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been to that church in many years.
Because they
But I
shunned you.
Yeah. It's interesting how, yeah, how it terrifies me when people think magic tricks are real, you know?
I
It's
wonder
same
that.
thing with, like, I don't know where you land on psychics and stuff, but I
I think magic is real. But also I know that it's fast. Like, you know what it is? I don't know how you guys do fast hand stuff. Like, what if you get arthritis? Your career's over,
it's
right?
bad, yeah.
That
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
why
the idea of thinking, like spending all day being like, how could I trick my mom into thinking that this report card is an A? Is probably where it all starts from, right? Or no?
oh, that would be a pretty good one. I just would come home early.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
How did you get into magic?
When I was a kid, we had my stepdad's best friend was a stand-up comedian,
Okay.
and, but
Knock
he had
knock.
s
Guess who's not there? Your dad. I'm kidding.
Oh!
Sorry, it was right there. It
Oof.
was right there. Bad jokes. Bad jokes.
Yeah, he was a stand-up comedian, so whenever he'd come over for, like, dinner, he'd be, like, doing bits at the table, and then, my mom asked him, "Would you do a show for Taylor's 7th birthday?" And
Why?
he's like, "I can't do stand-up for seven-year-olds."
Nobody
But
can. Nobody can, and
nobody
nobody
can.
should.
Hey, it's an open market, I think,
Maybe a 7-year-old should. Like,
oh, like a
you know how
seven-year-old
kids
stand-up
get into
comedian?
comedy sometimes? I don't like it when they come to a club if they're underage. It
I don't
makes
yeah,
everyone uncomfortable, even if they're good. It's just
right,
weird.
right,
Their market is their age group.
yeah.
Go.
Yeah, even like, I have teenagers, and it's weird even, like, when I if my kids are ever with me somewhere, you have to, like, because even if you know, okay, the family is cool, you're
It's not
like
even that. It's that,
you're
like,
like
I don't wanna mess them I don't wanna ruin a kid's life. I don't want them to talk about me in their therapy. Like, that's their
Right,
parents' job. I'm not here for
right,
that. And then when their
right,
parents are like, "No, it's cool." I'm like, "No, I'm not getting into this. This is not my
right.
response. You take your kid out of here. I need a
Yeah,
21 and over zone."
totally,
Well,
totally,
yeah,
yeah.
it scares me. Okay, so you got
But
into
yeah,
magic.
so my mom asked him to do stand-up at my birthday, and he's like, "Well, I used to do magic." And so he put together like a little magic show for my birthday, and I was like, "What is happening?" Like, I
Do you remember what
could
trick he
not
did? Like the big ta-da?
oh my gosh, like, he baked a cake in a kid's shoe, and then
Oh,
we all
okay.
ate it,
That's
like, with no
cool.
questions asked,
That's
like
a lot of that's very cool, though.
yeah, he, like, cracked an egg in a kid's shoe and then pulled out a cake. Like, that was pretty cool.
That's really hard to do. So
Yeah.
he was a magician who was really good.
He was good, yeah,
Good
and
enough.
then yeah, it was good enough. That describes most magic, right? Because like
And comics.
yeah.
And anything. And any job. Good
Yeah,
enough.
but I feel like I don't know, I feel like people as a whole have a pretty good barometer over what's bad comedy,
Mm,
right? Like, the reality is with comedy, if you tell a joke and nobody laughs, that's not great, but, like,
yeah.
a really bad performer can go buy a magic trick in a magic shop, and the trick still looks cool, you know?
Yeah.
It's like somebody showing you a YouTube video that's funny, and and a laugh happens, but it's like they didn't make the video.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did you
Anyway,
ever learn how to make a cake out of a shoe?
I know conceptually how to do it.
Oh, okay. You've never
I
done
never
it.
invested time
You know, do you
into
still
the
talk to this guy ever?
No.
Oh,
I don't know what happened to him. In
I
fact, I
think,
realized the other day, like, I should find out from my mom, like,
is he
who is
okay?
this guy?
Also,
Yeah,
can you make him a cake for his birthday out of his shoe?
that'd be pretty cool.
You should. Just full circle.
I was thinking the other day, like the classic magic thing is like, oh, pull a rabbit out of a hat. And people
Hmm.
are like, oh, what are you gonna do? Pull a rabbit out? And I'm like, if somebody took their hat off and they pulled a rabbit out of their hat, that would be freaking amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's a pretty good trick.
Yeah. If you
No
had a
one's
hat on.
doing it.
No one's doing old school tricks. I
No
do
one's
remember when the first trick was ever ruined for me, and if you're watching this and I'm ruining it for you, fast forward.
oh, I
It
wanna
was the
go
coloring book one
yep,
where
yep.
you like flip one way and then it's colored, and then you flip another way and it's not, and it was just like the page indents are like it's the where
Yeah,
the
yeah.
person. But I remember seeing how it worked, and I was like, "Fuck, I
You were
didn't like."
so let down, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. That's why
Yeah.
when people want they act like they wanna know. I'm like, "You don't wanna know."
No.
It's so the explanation is never. It's like when people try to explain comedy. It's like, well, I built some tension in the night.
Here's what's funny
Let's
is
let's
you
talk
weren't
about compression.
expecting me to say that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. See, I made you think I was gonna talk about this, but then it
yeah.
was really
But it was a surprise that you felt safe with, so it wasn't too far. Yeah. So- yeah, yeah, yeah. That's very fair, very fair. What is like a hard trick to is it just hard to think of new tricks, I guess, because everything's been done?
yeah, they're all built around what's possible, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like magic is just doing things that look impossible, right?
Hmm.
And so there's only so many things that can't be done. Like you can't levitate something, you can't
You
destroy
can.
something and put it back together, right?
Yes, you
So
can. Yeah, you can. I've seen it. I've seen
I've
it.
seen it happen.
I've seen it
You saw it
done.
on an airplane.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't see him do it on the airplane. I saw him do it on TV.
Well, you should have called that number. That's why he was like,
I got that agenda somewhere. I keep things.
"Oh,
I
do
should
you
call that
really
phone
have it?
number. Yeah, of course I do. I don't
You
think it was
still
David Blaine, but it might have been David Blaine. It was somebody like that in that world,
If
like
you still
huge.
have that,
He
I
was
must
pissed.
I must see it."
Okay. He was so mad because he was supposed to be first class and got bumped back because the flights changed or something. And then I was in business class as a teen, just like, can I have your autograph?
Oh,
He was clearly trying to sit away from everybody, and I
yeah,
was like sucking his energy.
that's incredible.
Which now as an entertainer, I understand when people need the like leave me alone time, but as a
Yeah,
16-year-old, I did not. I was like, you are famous, you are in public,
yeah,
I own you. You
yeah,
have to take a picture with me. That's how this works. Yeah. It's crazy how we just go up to people and are like, you're famous, you owe me
yeah.
this time.
How did you make the leap from dance to comedy?
Ugh. I don't even really know. I
Okay.
think I only booked dance jobs because I was funny.
Oh, that's
Like I
funny.
always felt like they
Like
only
you're a
hired
fun
me.
hang or
Yeah, like they hired me because they were like, "Oh, she's got a fun sense of humor." I would hear that all
okay.
the time. And I have big, big, big curly hair, like huge curly hair. So I would
Yeah.
also people would be like, "That's like your personality," which I still hate. Um, and so then I was still dancing and I wanted to
Okay.
try comedy, but I tried all kinds of comedy at the same time. So I did
Like improv
sketch
and
comedy, improv comedy, and stand up
okay.
and sitcom. So I tried all four at the same time.
That's not confusing at all.
Well, because I figured funny is funny. And then
Right.
what made stand up comedy win specifically at the end of the day is people. Like
Yeah.
sketch comedy, you have to get with other people, you have to shoot. It's so much more work
Right.
when it comes to like finding. Why does this thing always thumbs up me whenever I'm talking about something on whatever?
This company is a real big fan of sketch comedy. So whenever you bring it up,
It won't
thumbs
even do
up
it when I
shows up.
do that. Yeah, it's weird. So then basically anything I did that was team related, things always happened. Like and
Okay.
not me. I was in the common denominator, even though I totally was. But like one team of mine was an improv team and everyone started sleeping with each other's girlfriends and that was like, oh, I don't basically drama. There was always
Oh,
drama.
not like in an improv scene, like
No, like in real
actually.
life, everyone started screwing each other's girlfriends. It was an all lady
Wow.
team. And I was like,
Bringing
okay.
yes and to the next level.
Real like, wait, weren't you two together? Oh no, but you two live together. Oh, this is bad. So it was a lot of
Wow.
that. And then I was like, okay. I was doing stand up at the same time. And I was like,
Okay.
I think I'm just gonna do stand
Yeah.
up. I think I'm
Yeah.
just gonna do the alone thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not a big drama person.
Yeah.
That's all. It really boils down to but and now I'm happy that I chose that. But it was
Yeah.
like more of a conscious effort in the beginning.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I took improv, mm, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. I got into improv, and it really I don't ever do it on the regular, but it's so helpful when you're a solo performer to
Mhm.
get some it, like, helps you listen and just be aware of what's going on and, like
It helps you build crowd work.
yeah.
It helps with a lot of things. It's a very
Yeah.
useful tool.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not that great at it. Like I'm definitely more of a comic than I am an improviser. Because I would,
Yeah.
if you initiated a scene with me, I'd be like, no, no, yeah,
That
you're
would
not
be
allowed
the
to say
worst.
no in improv. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm not allowed to say no? It's 2025. I can say whatever I want. Like,
Oh my gosh, that'd be
that's my.
the worst when you're on the back line too, and you're like, "I'm stepping out," and you get an idea, and you're gonna initiate something, you step out, and someone else steps out, and they start talking first, and you're like, "What the hell?" Like,
Yeah, and
and
the
now I'm
other.
just supposed to let this genius idea go?
Yeah, I don't think you got my fart joke. It was gonna be
Yeah,
perfect.
guys,
And the
We're
other
gonna
thing
button the
was my
whole
team
show.
was really smart. And they would like say a word that I genuinely didn't know. And so then I'd be doing these scenes and I'd be like,
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. And I'd
Yeah.
say it on stage and then it would end up being the bit, but it wasn't
Right.
intentional. It was genuinely like, I don't know these words you speak of. So
Yeah. Improvisers are the best. Like if you're ever gonna do trivia, you
yeah,
want an improviser on your
they
team
know everything.
because every show something will come up that they don't know about, then they got to learn about it so
Hmm.
that doesn't happen again. And
That's very
yeah,
true. Also, when I did improv, you're just making me think of all these memories. We used to have you have to have a coach come in and teach you stuff, which is
yeah,
different than stand up. And do you
right.
have a coach in magic?
No,
No, there's
no,
no way.
there's like magic creators who like write books and do lectures and stuff. Like there's people who are into magic and they'll make bits that they're not performers.
They're like ghost writers or something for a
Yeah, yeah,
comic kind
yeah,
of thing, but for
yeah. So there's
magic.
that kind of thing, but there's not. I'm not really
They're probably the
coaches.
people who don't entertain well, but write the structure of a thing well.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Anyways, so it was supposed to be like find the unusual thing is improv, I guess. And I initiated a genius scene about an urn that it's the family urn and everyone goes in the urn and it was just like and I passed that part and the coach was like what was the unusual thing? And I was like, I said something else. And she goes, not the family urn. And I was like, no, I have one right here. And I grabbed my from my family. It was like, no, this is my family. And it was like, oh no, I'm the unusual thing. And that's why I'm good at stand up. Is my family is the unusual
Wait,
thing.
wait. Your
We have
family?
an urn that has
They
like
you
a
just it's like
trophy.
everybody in the pool?
Well, they get emptied, but like you know how this.
Wait, hold
Okay,
on.
okay, okay. So you
Like a
get it.
rental urn? Like
I have it. I can get it. It's in my house right now. So you know you get an urn when somebody passes away. You
Yes,
pick like a
yeah.
marble box, whatever.
Right.
Then what we did is we put like a trophy plaque on it. You know how you get that
Okay.
little thing at the end of a trophy that has your name? It would be like Taylor Hughes, 1993 through 1994, whatever. It says that. And then you do the ceremony, say goodbye, all the sad things, and then you keep the urn. There's nothing in it. And then the next person who dies, you bring the urn to the place and you go put them in this box. And
Like
then
the
you put a new
annual
sticker thing on it. There's no
like
annual. It's like
like
when
like
somebody
a yo-yo
dies.
for like a bowling trophy where they keep the same trophy and put a new plaque on it.
Yeah, exactly. Except for it's just a new
Wow.
body. Okay, see, this is why I've never talked about this ever, and
But
nor have I ever done stand up on it.
you
But
haven't
maybe
done
I
this on
no
stage?
no because
Are you kidding
I
me?
should.
This is so
I just
good.
weird. I just have an odd.
I I just have like 12 follow-up questions.
Please, please.
So
Let's write my
so
next
they
bit.
so you take someone out, they don't ever go in it. It's like a
Well, they're dead. They're
symbolic.
cremated. No, they're in it.
So you dump them in
The
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 urn.
the people do. I don't do it. Like when you get somebody cremated, you bring the
Yeah.
box in and they put them in that box in a
Yeah,
bag.
but
It's
what do
always in
you
a
do
bag.
with
I
the
don't know if
last
people know that.
person?
Then you go do the ceremony and you shake them out like a
Oh, you
penny,
dump
like
them
a
like
piggy
they go out in
bank.
the ocean or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
But then you say that you bring back
You
when
save the
you're
box, and I will
it's like
say
going back to 7-Eleven with that big gulp.
yes, and then I will say when you take your urn on the airport, you could put anything in an urn. Because my brother passed away years ago, and I was flying back from Hawaii with the urn, and they at the airport were like, "What is this?" It was in my backpack, and they were like, "What is this heavy metal box?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah," and they wanted to swab it or whatever. And I go, "Yeah, my brother is in there," and they were like, "Oh no!" And they wouldn't touch it, and I was just like, "I could have put so many drugs in there,"
Oh
um,
my
but I didn't.
goodness.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Anyways, it's
I
the family urn.
please put this on stage. This
So
is
this is
gold.
why I can't do improv. Because I don't even know that that's unusual. One of my first jokes I ever did, my husband pointed out because I didn't I do a joke about taking a cab to kindergarten. I didn't know that was weird. Like it's just that I
You
have an interesting life, and I didn't know that
okay.
I had an interesting life because it's mundane to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
You're watching you're watching like Home Alone 2 when he goes to New York. You're like, what's the big deal?
yeah,
I do
done
this
it.
every day.
Yeah, you could do it. It's fine. Yeah. I'm also in that perfect generation where like we got phones when I was like 16, but they were just for like
Right.
a call,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
every
yeah.
now. So it was like
Yeah.
not, yeah.
Son of it. Yeah.
Yeah. We did stuff back. Don't you remember being allowed to do things they can't do now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What are things that you feel like you used to
Like
do
we
that
could
you
do as
can't
a
do now?
kid.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because
I
you have
remember.
kids, you get to see it.
Yeah. I mean, I remembered. I tried this on stage and people didn't like it. Um,
That's the other thing is sometimes it gets too dark. Like if I'm like, oh, but that's okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but I had this repressed memory that, like, came back one day massively, like, it was so vivid, where I was, like, 7 years old or 8 years old by myself,
Hmm.
and I was walking down our street, and I stopped at the corner, and this guy had driven up and had, like, fistfuls of $100 bills and was
Oh,
waving them like, "Ah, ah,"
better
like
than candy. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, and I was like, "That's weird," and I, like, kind of walked the other way, and he obviously didn't get me, but I almost got. And I the bit I was trying was, I was a kid, I wasn't into money, but if that guy had a bag of McDonald's cheeseburgers, I don't think I'd be here today,
that's fun.
and no one liked it. But,
No, do you write that way? So like you think of a
yeah,
story that you have and then you try to make a trick go into that story, or you have a trick and you think of a
ye
story that goes into it, or both?
yeah, I used to think of what trick do I wanna do, and then, what'll justify me saying that, and now it's always,
Story
what story
first.
do I wanna say? And sometimes it's a 5 or 6 minute long story with no magic, and then sometimes it's a story that leads into a trick, you know?
There's
So
a thing you did on the internet. It's like all these squares and triangles about
Oh, the
shapes.
puzzle thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been sent that by so many people,
It's
and I'm always like,
ridiculous.
"I know him," and they're like, "What?" I don't know what
It's
everyone's trying to tell me and why they keep sending it to me, but
they're like, "You need to leave some room for wonder."
yeah. But hey, guys, look, he's right
That
here, right now,
that video is so funny. I'm like, I don't even know why that video got any attention, but for whatever reason, it connected with people.
and
But
the algorithm. It's both.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
the
People
old
share it.
algorithm. Man, I filmed so that's from my second special that I put out on YouTube and like got no love for a while.
Everyone, go watch it.
I was so bummed. No, I was so bummed. And then I started clipping it out and that thing went crazy. And then the special started getting more views. So I was like, oh, that's why everyone does this.
Yeah, that's really the stand-up way. You get it now. You
Just
get
gotta,
it. You just
chop up
clip
the
it.
bits,
Yeah,
clip it up.
and then get money from the social medias of 27 cents
Right?
or whatever it
You're
is.
great about that. I always see your stuff. You had a bit about true crime that made me die about like living to leave your hair
Oh
places.
yeah. Sometimes I have bits that are too dark for the internet, and then I have to take them down.
Oh
Which
my
is
gosh.
why I was like, I'll start a Patreon for
Yeah.
all of that. I wish, and I've said this before on this podcast, but I do really, really wish that social media had an adult,
Oh,
or
like
not even
you
an
could
adult, but
toggle
like,
it.
like an
Yeah.
adult, not even like not, yeah, whatever that is. It
Your
like I want to
settings.
see bad words, yeah, or
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
because there's all the bad things in there anyway. So why not
Right.
say like nudity, yes, nudity,
Yeah.
no, like because then you could choose what you want to see and not see.
I think it
Because I
should be
would
a
say no to
rule.
nudity, like I would, but I would
Yeah.
say yes to bad words. Like that
Yeah.
kind of like have it.
Everyone,
Let
and
us,
that's the thing. Everyone's got their deal, right? Like,
yeah,
I don't. It's funny to me whenever you get like comments of people who are like, "I just disagree with this," and it's like, well, just keep scrolling.
yeah.
Like, you didn't have to comment. You literally stopped the comment. I think if you comment that you dislike something or you disapprove of it, you should have to show a screen recording of your browser history because
Ooh,
those people are full of crap, right?
I like that. I
They're
like
like,
when
"Oh,
people
I
leave comments that are bad. They make me laugh the most. They make me like I get ones that are like your husband should leave you, and I'm like, oh, that's so
oh,
aggressive. I
yeah."
usually like write back like, yeah, except for I've locked him in the bathroom or something stupid, just because it's like, whoa, you don't think
So
he
funny. And
heard
then you
these
click on it
jokes? Like you don't
and
think he knows that I'm doing what?
yeah. Yeah, those are always the accounts that have like 2 followers and
And they
no
never show their
interaction.
face, and
Yeah,
yeah,
it's always like an AI eagle, you
or
know?
it's a person who is not willing to be. Yeah, they really feel that way.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I don't mind it. I did when I first did stand up. The first joke I ever did that went viral, I had it taken down because everyone was so mean. And that was during COVID. So my anxiety was like,
Oh.
I can't handle this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then now I embrace it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
full arc of
let
social
them fight
media.
it out.
Get mad at me. What did I do? My mama loves me. It's okay. That's all I care about. My mama. We're good.
Right.
She's not learned
It's
yet. No, she's not. She's not gonna go in there. She will go in there, but not soon.
I was waiting to see if she was Oh,
No,
I gotta see this urn. I gotta see this urn. I gotta see your notebook with the, questionable magician
you
signature
gotta
in it.
come over. You gotta come over.
Now,
So
Are you in
go ahead.
Canada right now?
No, I just flew back last night.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I was somebody who wanted to get into magic, what is
Yeah.
like the okay, so I know in comedy, like the clubs that everyone's like, I got to do this club. Do they have
Yeah.
that for magic? Like you did Vegas or like you did
Um, I mean, the Magic Castle is probably the one
is
for
that even like if you're
magicians.
from Europe or like Florida,
Yeah,
you would know the Magic Castle?
yeah. There's
That's
like a
cool.
lot of magic themed kind of restaurants and bars around the country now, but the Magic Castle's the one that like I have friends in the UK who are like, one day I'm gonna get booked at the castle.
That's cool.
Um,
I've only
which is
driven by it and one time there was a fire. And I was like, "Where are them? Is this a
you
trick?"
never gone?
Mm-mm.
Oh, we gotta go.
I'll go. I'd love to go. I know you
Oh
have
my
to
goodness.
dress up nice,
You
right?
gotta get it. Yeah, it's like they have two rules that have always existed from Cary Grant was like on the board back in the day.
Okay.
And he's like, no photos, like you
Okay.
can't take any pictures, no video,
That's
and everyone's gotta dress up.
I could do it.
So it's
So you
one of
could
the
just
few.
tell people you went to the Magic Castle then if you're not allowed a photo.
Yeah, you could just like put a suit on and be like,
Yeah.
who it's did you put a new name on the death trophy?
But
No,
what
I
if
went
the
to the
trick
Magic
was that
Castle.
I never took a photo, but when I left, they were all in my phone?
Oh, there you go.
You took a photo and airdropped it to me, but because I wasn't allowed to look at my phone, I had no idea.
It's
Um,
they're pretty wild about the photography at the castle.
that's good though. They should. I feel like
Yeah.
that's a great safety thing for everybody.
Yeah.
You want to
And
keep
it's fun. It makes it they get a lot of celebs will come up there because they're not gonna get, they know people know, just let people be.
well, and
You know?
you can't take a photo. Sorry,
Can't
you
take
can't.
photos.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's very cool. What's your
Yeah.
favorite? There's more than one room, right? When you go, like, if somebody didn't
Yeah.
know what the Magic Castle was,
Yeah, so and every time I describe it, it sounds so nerdy,
can't wait.
which it is, but it's also really cool.
I'm in. I'm in.
I'm like, "Guys, listen, it's real neat, I promise."
Okay, I like it. He got
Uh
braces for it.
so the Magic Castle is this house in the Hollywood Hills. It's like
That's just a
behind
house.
it's a yeah, like a Victorian house. It was built in 1906.
Okay.
And in 1963, these two brothers got a hold of the house. Their dad was way into magic, and their house, which is in Hollywood, still had a theater in the background and in the backyard. And so, like back in the day, when like Blackstone and Houdini and all these magicians would come through LA,
Mhm.
their house was like the hang place for all the magicians in town.
Cool.
And so, their dad always had this dream of one day I want to make like a clubhouse where it's like just a place where people come to see magic. Because every other time you see magic, it was like a surprise usually, right?
Yeah,
Like
there was
you're
no. Yeah, there's never. Yeah, now you can go like get tickets, but before,
yeah,
yeah.
so they basically got this house and they've built into the side of the hill. There used to be a like a parking structure attached to it that's been enclosed in. So when you go inside, it's like 5 times bigger on the inside than it is on the outside.
Cool.
And they have like this, there's a restaurant, you go have like a, sit down old school steak dinner and then or whatever you want. And then
I would do a seat.
and then there's all these showrooms. So there's like a close-up room that only seats 18 people, and you'll have like some crazy close-up card magician there,
Hmm.
right in this room with like 18 folks. And they do like 15-minute sets in each of these rooms.
So how many
So
magicians are there at any given time?
every week, I think they book I could do the math. I think it's
A
like
lot.
9 to 12 acts a week that work the castle. They book you for the whole week.
Well, okay.
But you'll do like 21 shows that week.
Wow. Way to. That'll make your it like you. If you don't have that trick yet, you will by the
Oh
end.
man, that's what I love about the castle. It's like I'll
It's a
go
good
do a week
workout room.
there. Yeah, I'll put in a new story or a new routine and be like, okay, by the end of it, you're like, I think this has legs.
Legs.
I think we could do something with it. Yeah.
That's cool.
So
What's your
yeah,
favorite
it's
room in
fun.
there to do?
The palace is like the theater room. It's like seats 120 people,
And you
and
like a presentation.
that's like the you sit and you watch like 3 different acts, but it's like a review show, like a variety show kind of thing.
That's cool.
Um, so that's my favorite room, and then they have a parlor, which is kind of it's a great like comedy room. It's the seating is like raked seating, but it's only like 68 people that fit in the room, so it's nice and tight,
That's
and
cool.
yeah, it's great.
So, okay, so you go to the club and you have to get tickets for each show, or you just get to go because you have a ticket. You can go sit in whatever room if the
No,
capacity
so
is
it's
there.
yeah, so it's a private club, so you have to be with a member or you have to have a invitation from a member, like a guest pass from them.
Okay.
And then if you're with a member, you just walk in. You don't need reservations. You don't need to have dinner.
Flex.
Um, yeah, you just kind of show up and go see shows. And there, there's it's funny because now there's 4 different showrooms, but there's 5 bars.
Smart.
So
That's
people go
good.
up and grab a drink and see shows. And if you have dinner, they give you a ticket for like the big stage show,
Hmm.
a guaranteed seat. Otherwise, all the shows are just kind of first come, first serve. So
That's
just kind of
cool.
wander around and get
Is it like
get
rotating
room.
all
And
the time though, kind of thing?
yeah, so each room, like there's the close-up room that I talked about. There's the parlor, which is like the stand-up room. Then there's the stage. Each of those rooms have 3 shows a night. I'm sorry, each of those every 30 minutes the close-up room and the parlor switch.
Okay.
So you finish a show and like 10 minutes later they're loading in another group.
Oh wow.
And they switch performers in those rooms halfway through the night. So you can literally
Then your
come back to the
stuff,
same
all your
room and see different
stuff.
stuff. What?
What about your stuff? Don't you need stuff?
Ah.
So you're constantly packing your stuff from one room to the other?
Oh, I just have like a little doctor's bag,
Little
like a
things.
little
Okay.
a little, you
Nice.
know,
Doctor. That's cool.
everything. I see every time you talk about magic, it just sounds so nerdy.
Not at
This is why
all. I'm in.
like I my wife and I joke about it. Like I always say like someday I want to be successful enough in magic to make it my hobby again and like just do comedy.
Just
Like cuz every famous person that that was like a magician used to be a magician.
mhm.
It's like, oh, Johnny Carson used to be a magician and Neil Patrick Harris used to be a magician. There's very few people that have broken through who are just doing magic, but
Does your wife ever go like, "Ugh, that trick again?"
um she's
Or
seen a
your kids?
lot of bad magic.
That's true. Oh, so does she still go? No.
She'll go she likes to go to the castle, but she's like, "I'll go once every 6 months and I'm good."
Cuz
Like,
she knows all the trick, like she know nothing's
yeah,
fooling
and
her.
yeah, and poor thing. I mean, she's so helpful with like when I'm writing stuff, like I'll bounce stuff off her and we've worked on pieces together. But then like
Has she ever been your chick in the box?
back in the
Have you
day,
ever had a chick in the box?
back in the day, we used to do we used to do like the big illusions and she'd levitate and get cut in half and then I got tired of carrying around boxes and she got tired of getting in them. So
That's fair.
she's like,
One of
on the
my
road
first
by
dance
yourself.
roommates was a magician's wife, and she became the chick in the box. I'm sure she does
Oh,
more than that, but she was
it's
always like, "I can't gain weight." Like, okay. Wow, that's worse than dance.
it's
It's way
I'm
worse.
telling you,
Like you
it's
gotta
like
fit in tiny little things. You gotta be bendy. Makes
s-
sense.
there is a lot, yeah, a lot of most of the times magicians assistants are dancers just because like it's like a physical thing. Like you just
Do all
no
magicians marry their? Not all, but most.
no, not all. I mean, that's the thing too, is like you see these magicians who have been performing the same act for 40 years, but every 10 years they get a different girl because
Oh, because she's over it. She's done.
it's just it's hard. That's a hard life
Yeah,
getting sword shoved through you.
yeah. I believe that. I
Yeah.
believe that.
Yeah, we had a trick one time when our kids were little. So we had 2 daughters. They were 3 and 5 at the time,
Mhm.
and we had this table where my wife, my father-in-law built the table for us. I was like, Mike, I need something built. He's like, whatever. What do you need? I was like, all right, I need a 6 foot table. I need leather straps. I'm gonna lay your daughter down. I'm gonna strap her down to the
This
table. I
sounds
don't want her to move.
inappropriate.
I need a collar, like a leather collar and a leash, because I'm gonna like thread that through the table. I'm gonna have strangers hold her down, and then we're gonna put blades through her. And he's like, I'm available after 5. And he,
Wow, this is like one of that video would have gone viral. The asking the dad for the
yeah.
box.
Well, the crazy thing is we would practice it in our living room, and one day we're in our living room, and we had the table set up, and my daughter, like one of my kids, is like holding her mom down with a leash, and the other one's holding these 2 swords, and yeah, we're paying for
Do
therapy.
you have photos of this?
I do have photos
That's
of it.
adorable.
Yeah, yeah, and
See?
one day
Family
we're
earn, not so bad.
not so bad. Yeah, I acted like you guys were weird. This
Yeah.
was like normal. But like we were getting ready saw my wife in half in the living room with my two kids strapped her to the table, and the doorbell rang, and it was the Jehovah's Witness. And they looked in and they saw what was going on and they ran away. They didn't tell anybody. Like the cops didn't show up, but we lived there for 8 years and the Jehovah's Witness never came back to our house.
Oh, well,
They
you
would
heard
l
it here.
they would
If you
literally
don't want them
swat.
on your door, you just put a
This
box
is
and two children holding down
this
a
is
leather. That's
yeah,
crazy. Also
magic,
amazing.
magic.
That is a good trick, though. You got them to go away.
It was a good trick.
That's a
Yeah, it's the first
great.
time I made people disappear.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
Well, we
Is
gotta go to
there?
the castle. We gotta yeah.
Yeah, I would love to. I
Bring
would
your hu
love
has
to
your
go.
husband been?
I don't think so. We
What?
both lived in LA forever.
How do you guys live in LA? Everyone's got like some weird Magic Castle story, and it's either like it was great or it was rough.
Oh, tell me the next time you're there and I'm there. I'll figure it
Okay,
out. Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
do it.
yeah. Because you go the
Yeah.
whole week, right? So it's
Yeah, I
not
do.
like because a lot of weekends I'm not available sometimes.
Yeah, same with me. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Because I figure that's like comedy and stand. This is the same
Yeah. Yeah,
magic.
no, I'll let you know when I'm there, but, we could also find an off night when I'm not there, and then we
Oh,
just go
cool.
up and hang and
You wouldn't
talk.
be over it like ugh this
Oh,
one.
no.
You go
No.
sometimes for
Here
fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And I love magic, and I don't wanna talk ill about other acts, but sometimes magic's bad, and I think that's great.
I love bad comedy, so I
Like,
would love bad
oh my
magic.
see, and that's the part that my wife can't handle, like, Katie's like, I will watch on YouTube bad comedy and bad magic, and she's like, "How do you do it?" I'm like, "It's amazing."
There's a market for everybody. It's just amazing people do what they do. Is there bad magic at Magic Castle?
Very rarely.
But it does
I
exist.
mean, they're
There's a
pretty
favor that's been called in.
there's a occasionally you'll be like, "Alright, whose nephew is this?"
That's the night I want to go. I
Yeah.
want to see someone
Yeah.
who will wow me and then be like,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's like the comedy equivalent of like, "Alright, how many people did you brought 20 people and they let you get up here?"
Yeah, exactly. That does happen. It's okay.
Craziness.
Yeah. So if there was like a trick that you could do that you
Yeah.
can't do yet, what would it be? Or you're not allowed to talk about it?
No, I mean, that's I'm always trying to think of that, right? Always
The next thing.
what is the next thing? I just did the last on the
Can you
last
make the
special.
stock market change or anything? That'd be cool.
Right? Just
Corporation.
yeah, just, mailbox money, and,
Yeah,
that'd
I'm
be
in.
great. That'd
Yeah.
be great. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would have to be world peace.
Oh, is it getting harder with like drones and like weird things too?
With magic?
Yeah, or is it getting easier with devices?
Uh, the the thing that's interesting right now is I've never used, like, electronics or, that kinda stuff, but especially like, my friends who are, like, mentalists, they, like, do, like, mind reading kinda magic.
Hmm.
Um, if you could explain it being electronic, people just assume it is,
You just
right? Like
reminded me that I saw a guy who sucked at magic. I forgot about it. He was a mentalist. He
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
whatever color you pull, you're thinking this, this, and this, and
Yeah.
this. He got the gender of somebody wrong, and then it went real downhill after that. But it was,
That was the start. That was the
yeah,
opening.
it was like, and you get pink because it was like, nope, I am
Oh,
not what you think
come
I am, and that was really fun.
Ooh, see, that's
I was dying.
on video,
I
I
was
could
like,
love
give
it.
me a card. Let's go. I'm in. It was at a comedy show, like a comedy open mic place.
Okay.
Because sometimes magicians, where else can they go? So I
Yeah.
think magic and stand up go hand in hand a lot.
Yeah, my buddy and I used to run a show, years ago at Meltdown called
Mhm.
Jokers and Aces, and it was so fun because I'd bring 3 magicians, he'd bring 3 comics, and we would stack the bill, so it was like comedy, magic,
That's fun.
and the audience loved it because you get this, like, this one's really interactive, it's like a fun mental break, you get to laugh at the comedy, and yeah,
Yeah,
should bring that back, it'd
you
be fun,
should. You should bring it back.
it'd be fun.
Totally.
Coming to is Meltdown Comics is now like a condo, so we'll
Yep.
just
Coming to a street corner near you under a bridge. Don't mind the homeless people. They'll be there also performing. That's
Wow.
really cool. Is it like, do you think you'll ever retire from magic?
I do think at some point I'll probably lean just more into the storytelling stuff.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'll always do magic. Uh I don't know. It's interesting. It's like, yeah, okay, how many like right now I put 2 specials out that are magic and it's like how much of that do I want to do? Maybe do something
Because every
different.
time you do it, you have to start again, right? So are you going to do a
Yeah.
third one and it's going to be more stories, less magic? Is that what you're going to
I mean,
call it? More stories, less
more stories,
magic?
less magic. I know, just like it's a slow progression.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, the new show that the new magic show that I'm doing right now is about. It's got a lot of stories in it, but
That's cool.
it's different. It's different than the two that are online right now. So like, if people come to the show, it's different stuff.
Where can people watch your
Um,
shows or find them online if they want to like get a ticket
yeah,
to the new
yeah. I
stuff?
got so the ones that I put out, I've got one on Amazon Prime called Chasing Wonder.
Hmm. It's a good one.
And that was really fun. And then we put one out just this last year on YouTube called Enjoy the Ride. So those are both there. And yeah, I don't know.
And
I
you
don't
have a
know the
book,
next.
which I have, and it's very good.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Um yeah, I put out I got two books now. The new
Oh,
one, I kind of stopped talking about it. I really like it, but I
that's
feel
cool.
like the new book is called Misdirection,
I think
and
that's
it's
the one I have.
oh sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so first book is called Road to Wonder, and it's
Okay.
just like fun stories with, it's just all fun stories. And then the new one is about, how
Using
people are
magic. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, how the same techniques magicians use have kind of weaseled their way into other areas of our life they don't belong. Um, and it's a really good book, but I was like, you know what? And I think post election, I was like, I don't know, but I think people don't want to hear anymore how bad things might happen.
But at least they'll understand the why
Yeah, I think it's
or
good.
the
I think it's
how, I
good.
guess.
I
Yeah.
just I just yeah. Do you ever do that with your comedy? Like, you go through phases of
Always.
like, "Ah, I'm talking about this too much," or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Always. There's always like a oh. No one watch don't watch that one. When people are like, which special should I watch? I'm like, not this one.
You're like,
That
"The
one.
okay, I'll give you time codes. Watch
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
these
This
bits
one's
I'm
my
so
favorite.
proud
My
of."
last one's my favorite, the female
Yeah.
comedian one. And I only did it once before I did the show.
You only did that wait.
That's
You only did
crazy, right?
wait, you only did that whole show
I
once?
only did that whole show once, but I also only ran it once before that.
How is
Like,
that
it's
even
not like I went on
possible?
tour with it because I was doing other tours for other things, so I couldn't. So I had it in like, I'd
What?
done each thing in like 10-minute increments or 20, because LA is like whatever.
Yeah.
And then I did a bar show about 2 hours away, and I did the full hour for the first time in front
Shut
of a room
up.
full of people at a bar. And then the next week I shot it and was like, well, see how this goes.
Oh,
It went really well. But I like that's what I like about comedy, and it's probably like the improv part of it. Of like, I don't like doing the same joke 1,000 times. I get
yeah.
thank you,
Yeah.
internet. Now you
Yeah,
get it.
I got another thumbs up.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's I do like that about the improv thing is like, this is temporary. Like, if it's the greatest, it's only gonna happen once, and if it's the worst, it's only gonna happen once. And yeah, so that's what I'm trying to figure out right now is like, I don't feel like filming another special, but also the stuff that I'm doing now, I've been doing for like a year and a half, and I'm kind of like, oh, what do I want to do?
yeah.
You know, it's funny. You talk about that bar show. Before I filmed my first special, I did the night before because we filmed at Dynasty in LA,
Okay, cool.
and the night before I hopped on my buddy's show at the lab,
At
uh,
the improv,
at the improv, because I was like, I just need to get on stage one time.
just
I can't,
yeah.
I just do it, and I died the biggest death that night.
Oh no,
I don't know what happened, but I felt like that was so good because like the next night I was like,
super
not
focused.
tonight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, it was also probably because people went to see a comedy show and they were like, "What is this magic in
It's like
this
a magic man and
dive bar?" Yeah, that's the lab. It's like there's a full bar, and there's
yeah.
probably a bunch of like dick jokes, and then you being like, "The meaning to life," and everyone's like, "What?" I didn't come here to feel like inspired. I came here to to make fun of terrible people, which is not me. Yeah,
So
yeah.
fun.
That's so
Oh my
funny. I
gosh.
love that. That's
Yeah.
very cool. Do
Yeah.
you think your kids are gonna get into magic?
Absolutely not.
No. If you could do another job that wasn't magic, what would it be? If
Ooh.
you had to pick another job, like you were not like uh whatever president won't let you, magic
Yeah.
is banned in
This
America.
sounds like we could be headed there.
I know, I was towing the line. I knew what I was doing.
It sounds like that's coming. Yeah, I don't know. I like writing.
Okay,
So maybe something along those lines. When I was a kid, I wanted to do special effects, like for the
that's cool.
movies.
Do you think there'll ever be a book on magic with magic in it?
What
Or
do you
does that
mean?
already exist? I was just thinking of like a Nook or a iPad. So like you're like reading a book on that. You swipe it and then like I don't know, something pops out. You're like,
Something
what the
appears in the
fuck? How did you do that?
that would be cool.
That's what I want. That's your next book. Figure
It's
that out. No, I'm
like a
kidding. I don't know.
digital pop-up book.
I don't even know. I guess that's just a hologram.
How
I'm
about
thinking
you? If you weren't doing, I mean, you've done dance, you've done comedy. Do you
if
ever
I had
think,
like a regular person job,
yeah,
I used to want to be a stockbroker for a long time. And I do
really,
love like looking at numbers. So I could
really,
probably do taxes.
okay,
Something like that. Or
yeah. Do you?
investing.
I sometimes will, like, if I'm at a coffee shop and I'm having like a, you know, like every third day when I want to just quit everything,
Hmm.
uh,
I feel
I'll look
this.
at someone making coffee and I'll be like, I bet they go home, they don't even think about coffee. Like, you know what I mean? Like an idea where it's like your passion is not connected to the thing that makes you money.
Yeah,
Sounds
literally,
intriguing.
it's impossible. I did a show in Vancouver. Stayed at my sister's house. Next morning, woke up to get coffee for
Yeah.
everybody, and then on the walk there, I came back in. I was like, I figured out that bit. My sister was like, it's 6 a.m. and I was like, no, 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 but now I get it. Like I see where I went wrong, and here's where it needs to go. And it was like, okay, well, that's never gonna stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Oh
thought
yeah.
about quitting, and my husband goes, "What would you do?" And I
Yeah.
was being truthful. Like I was like, what would I do? Well,
Yeah.
I'd probably go to open mics just for like fun. And he was like, "That's lowering the bar. Like that's just you're still a
You just want
comic."
to do a lesser version of what you're
It's
already doing.
basically what you were saying. You want to get so famous that it becomes a hobby again.
It just be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Instead of selling tickets and like,
It's
because that's the hardest part is like filling
yeah.
the space. It was
Yeah.
getting people to trust to come see you.
That's it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. When people are like, "Oh, what's your dream?" I'm like, I just want
a sold out show.
yeah, I
Back to
just
back
want
to
to
back.
be able to write a show for people that want to see it and then do that and then write another one. If I could do that, that'd be dream. Dream.
You guys, let him have his dreams.
Come on, guys.
Come on, guys. It's
This
the
becomes like
future. We're in the
this becomes
future.
some weird narcissistic telethon where it's just like help the guy who's doing pretty okay be
You're doing
happier.
great. You're doing great. Do you, okay, this is so probably something I'm never allowed to ask. So if this is, tell
You
me,
can ask anything you want.
can you do a trick?
Oh, can I do a trick on here?
Yeah, you can say no. I also don't know how. I literally know. You guys, just so you know, my podcast has zero prep in case you haven't noticed. And I just talk to people, but but that's like you asking me to do a joke. So that's why I was like, it's
Oh,
very possible that the answer is no. And I would understand because I couldn't tell you a joke right now.
I should have been
No,
prepared.
you shouldn't have, because why would I make
Um,
you do a trick?
but I didn't. I don't
No,
have
we'll just.
any trickery with me.
That's fair. That's fair. Everyone, just go buy his book. It's much better. It's much better. Well, very cool. Thank you for spending your day with me.
Oh my
Day.
goodness! Thanks for having me on. This is super fun.
And then if I go to the Magic Castle with you, maybe we'll do like a quick 5 to 10 minute follow up episode of like, here's what I thought of Magic Castle
Oh
with you.
my goodness! Let's do it. We could do
Or wait,
a
you have a
review.
podcast, right? Or you're thinking about doing yours again?
I'm gonna be relaunching the podcast.
Okay, so when your podcast comes out, I've
I'll have
already
you
volunteered
on.
myself to come on, which you don't
Yes,
have to do,
please. Oh my goodness.
to
We'll
talk
do it.
about what I thought of
We'll
the
do it.
Magic
And
Castle.
we totally should do like a whole like a Magic Castle recap video.
As someone who
So-
loves magic, like I would be, like I'm impressed. I go to like these shitty Halloween ones where like somebody does like really easy card tricks, and everyone around me is like, "This isn't great," and I'm like, "No." So, dude, he took my card, he wrote my name on it, and now
Yeah.
it's over here.
Yeah.
How, like, doesn't hurt that I drank before it. So I'm like
That is
looking at
always
it like
helpful.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alcohol is magic's
I'm not
best
like
friend.
watching the hands like this. I'm just sitting there like, okay, what are you gonna do with it? Okay, I'm an easy guy.
Yeah, so we'll pick a night
Mhm.
when I know there's great acts on and I'm
And
not
of one bad
performing,
one.
and one bad one, and I'll let yes. We'll let them some code. I'm gonna get kicked out of the club. They're gonna be like, he's spilling the beans on
No, but the
I don't
best
know.
part is I'm not gonna think the bad one's the one that you think is the bad one.
Okay, please, you
Because
have to
that's
send
very
me.
fair too, right? We'll never know, because you're
It's
looking at the
true.
technical aspect, and
Yeah.
I'll be looking at the like overall, like, did he make me feel good, or she?
We can totally do this. And then you have to find, if you find your high school notebook.
Oh yeah, it's definitely upstairs somewhere. And you want me to bring the urn? No.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I
Shove
will
some.
die if I know who that magician is.
I know
Okay.
you do.
Oh, oh jeez. You know what we
Creepy.
should do? Go get it and we'll call him on the podcast right now. And you'll be like, hey, you need to put a timeline on when I could call.
Or maybe they're at the Magic Castle when I go, and I bring my notebook and go, "Is this still your phone number?"
That would be the most amazing magic trick ever.
Tricks on you. It says 1994,
Tricks
or
on
like
you.
96 or something like that. Yeah.
All right, you're the best. Thanks for letting me crash.
Thank you. Have a lovely day. Enjoy. Bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye bye.